Hey guys, the Nacet continues. Use number 252 today. We're going to revisit a puck I used the other day. Mandarino Tachibana, right? Yeah, from Chong Fung Sing. We abbreviate it TFS. It's an Italian soap, originally created by a Chinese dude who moved to Italy, married an Italian woman, started making soaps. Aristocrat, vintage United States version Aristocrat. Maseto shaving, Silvertip, 24 millimeter. Get this into some water. I like to soak my badgers. It seems to do better. Just a few minutes, especially the two-band badgers that have the tips that get really soft when they get wet. Obviously there's some absorption there that you need to allow to happen. Okay, and here's the Nacet, showing you the right side here with the 3 dots. Let's put him in something for the Aristocrat to look at, to date them. This is a non-notched Aristocrat. It's got the T-shape end parts. It's not just one bar and then stopped with a little notch on the end. That was to pull the blades out of those packs. That was a gimmick for a while. We don't really do that anymore. I like this format because it really anchors the blade down to where it is not going to be out of alignment. Now that the blade is providing a background, you can much more easily see the T's at the end of the center bar here. That's helpful in identifying. The notched one I think came around, what, maybe like 49 or 50 or something like that. So if it's not notched, then I think you know that you have like a 47, a 48, or 49, something along those lines. You can do some, now that you know that principle, you can look it up on the web if you need to. The Aristocrat shaves pretty well for me, historically speaking. It's not as good as the UK Aristocrats. I don't think the blade is held quite as closely. Sorry I'm off camera there, but something blew away. And so it's not quite as smooth as the UK Aristocrats are, but it's pretty good. And I love the weight of it, the girth, the looks of it. I'd probably like the silver better, but the American ones were made in gold. And so I think it's a nice piece. All right, let's throw a little bit of water on my face. One day of growth is what we're dealing with. And with that little scrubby boar brush I've been using lately, I worked on this soap for one of these. I just a 25-second load and I still ended up with a lot of extra lather. Now this is a softer brush. So let's try a 25-second load with this guy and see what happens. Softer brushes sometimes require just a little bit extra load time compared to some scrubby ones. All right, so 30 seconds off. 15 seconds is rolling around right there. And so we'll just kind of load until 45. Nice orange Mandarin type smell coming up from the puck. That's 15 seconds gone by. And 5 more. And there we go. Let's just see how many passes we end up with. That's a nice scent. I think it's got a little pineapple mixed in with it. So for maybe the last week and a half, I've used that Simog Torga C5. So with boar brushes, sometimes they take a while to grow. So I didn't want to use it intermittently and just watch it grow so slowly. Now this is feeling a little pasty, and so there's no reason that says we can't pop in a little water. Just to kind of get that lather a little quicker. This is a larger brush, and so it is coming up against the size of this bowl. Unlike the Torga, it was a small little boar brush, and I didn't get up close to the tip of the bowl at all. So you know what, I might have to kind of get my other bowl out that's just a little bigger, and so if I'm using a bigger brush, then switch bowls, you know. Okay, and this is, I'm feeling this dragging a little bit because it needs some water. 2 teaspoons in it now. And this is just a 24 millimeter brush, but it's got a big splay because it's a Silvertip. It's a 3-band. So those guys splay a lot easier than the 2-band knots. See, look, this guy's already coming out, man. I'm gonna have to watch it. It will behave a little easier once you start getting some water in there with it. So let's oblige it. Another teaspoon. When there's more water in it, it adds a little bit of weight to the lather, and it adds, of course, fluidity. And so then that lather that would normally climb the walls and maybe overflow starts to fall back in to what you're mixing. Doesn't try to escape as much. There we go. Now it's behaving a little better. Just like the boar brush, I do kind of a plunge technique as well as a normal kind of round stir, just to kind of get a good consistent mix. Another teaspoon, so we've got 4 in there now. One of the reasons I tell you, because that helps me to remember. So if I don't tell you how much I'm putting in, hard for me to remember sometimes. It's a good vegan soap, this one. Triple milled. So it looks like the soap usage per shave is going to be kind of low. So you should be able to get a lot of uses out of it. I found one place where it was $13 for the tub, and I think that's a really good value. This is a tub that was sent to me by a YouTube viewer, Gabe, and he was interested in trying these soaps out. But mainly he was interested in sending me the open comb base plate of the Game Changer, the 68 gap. And so he decided to tag along these couple of soaps that he was interested in, because I'll try out the base plate and the soaps and sample those a little bit, and then I'll forward them on to him. Very kind of him. He's already got that 68 open comb, and he likes it so much that he bought a backup. And I could probably see why. It did pretty well for me, even considering it was a little on the mild side, because I was using the old Nacet in it. With consecutive use, the day before the end of June, I will have 300 uses on the Nacet, so I'm going to go consecutive with it. After June, I'll be able to use that open comb, give it a good shake with a bunch of different blades. I'm really looking forward to doing that. Let's look at our lather now. See how it's holding itself up in the little shelf there around the side? And this is kind of keeping its structure. I think I want to add a little bit more water to that. So that is 6 teaspoons of water. Now I do have hard water here, as most of you regular viewers know. And this is cool water tonight. So we got 6 teaspoons in it. 30-second load. Looks like I've got plenty of lather, so I could reduce that load time to maybe 20 seconds, but we'll see how much we have left over at the end of the shave. And I think that is good. Well, this is a vegan soap, and so a lot of times you don't take it quite as... There we go. There we go. You don't take it quite as thin as you can with some tallow soaps. All right, water on my face again. Ooh, that's cold. Had a cold dip lately. Even though it's well past spring. Big old badger. I'm used to that little bitty boar brush. Kind of feels like I need to add more water. Feels a little dry. That's what I get for loading too much, right? Yeah, there's a lot of lather here. Add some into the middle of the knot there. Nice soft badger brush. Get the lather a little closer to hydrated properly here. Look at all the excess there. You get it right in the bowl, it's not quite as messy on your face. But all this brush work is good for your skin, good for taking your soap base and make sure it kind of locks into your skin to protect it. All those things. All right. Kind of just thin down the layer here. And we're ready to go. That's a messy one because I let it go too thick. And I probably could have shaved with it all right. See, that's more along the lines of a better lather right there. I'm going to put another teaspoon in the... Actually, I'm putting another 2 teaspoons in the lather. So that makes, I used 6. That was 7, 8, now 9 teaspoons of water in this lather. Feels good. Oh, the scent is nice. It's like a 6 out of 10 in terms of strength. Very good, very good. All right, so we will see how this old Nacet works in this Aristocrat. I don't think the Aristocrat, like I said, holds quite so close to the edge of the blade, so we can probably expect to hear a little more audio than usual. My favorite razors are the ones that clamp down really well. Tugging here, yeah. I don't think this guy is going to be a very good typical user of this blade at this age, but I thought I'd try him out. I think he's maybe a little more mild than he needs to be to work this guy right. There we go. All right, a little water. Well, he may have been a little tuggy, but he pulled some hairs. He got some hairs out. I've had mild razors a couple days now, and I was still feeling stubble after the second pass, and I don't feel nearly as much after the first pass with this razor. So sometimes the tuggy ones are the ones that gives you the closest shaves with this old blade. All right, so we reintegrated the water that I added, so hopefully this will be better. Yeah, oh man, that's a, if you like orange. Now there is a twist of pineapple in there too. I don't like it quite as much as a pure orange, but it's right on the bubble of me liking it. And so if it were any more pineapple, I might not like it. I might not mind if it was a little bit less, but I think I'm pretty happy with it in general because the orange is just so nice. So I am going to go ahead and switch to cross grain pass. Nice glide on the razor. Not a super comfy combo. The Fatip open comb definitely beats this. However, judging from how much stubble I'm not feeling on my face, it seems like this may be very effective. Very efficient cutter. Well, yeah, I've got tons of lather here. Big old badger brush. Nice and soft. I like these guys. And this is a pretty budget badger for the Silvertips, you know. The Masetos, I think $45, $48, something like that, for a decent badger. And their finest badger, the 2-band that they have, is very nice. Very soft tips. I like this handle, this Barber looking type handle. It's called the Memphis. They also have some other kind of more traditional looking handles too. All right. Nice and fast. Pretty good razor if you like audio. Yeah, I will need to do a touch up in that area. think this lather probably could have used a little bit more mixing to kind of solidify its consistency a little bit more. But it's very functional. It just maybe would have given a little bit better feel. Now, do a little bit of pulling of the skin down and away, chin up and away the other direction. And then this is what it takes to get that trouble spot taken care of. There we go. Good shave. Not as comfy as some, but more efficient than others. Closer cut than others. And now a full rinse. Well, tell you what, I sometimes get fooled during the shave. There is something about that thin film of soap that is like a mirage. It makes you think there's hair that's gone, and it's actually there, because now as I look back, my trouble spot here, I see some length and a good many tips. And so even though it was a little scrapey, I thought it was efficient, and it was average efficient, you know. So it's all good. Let's take a look at this lather. Nice comfy Badger brush today. Holds a ton of lather in it. This is how much it was holding. And then we've got about twice that in the bowl here. This is a very hydrated lather, so slick and doing its job. Yep. Kind of a soapy slickness that's thin, not really thick or slow like an oily slickness or a buttery, kind. I think it's a very good line of vegan soaps. If you like the orange blossom smell, the companion to this one that I used earlier, the Bergamotto Neroli in Italian, I guess, has the orange blossom scent along with a little touch of rose to it. But terrific lather. This water is cold. The ground must have really lowered in temperature lately. And with the Badgers, you've seen me kind of work with my boars. I'll give the Badger a good rinse here in the water. I don't do too much, squeezing of the brush. I use the bowl for the most part and have the water coming into that, and then use that to really watch as the water gets cleaner and cleaner coming out of the bowl. Then I know when it's done, and then I'll shake the brush into the sink so that the spraying water stays in the sink. And then I dry the handle, and then my hand that's going to hold it, I dry as well. So now the two dry things come together. The boar I like to strop a lot. You don't need to strop the Badger quite as much, just to kind of get the big water droplets out. And once you do that, you're good to set it. And he can rest on his base, or he can be hung on a stand. When you have shaken the water out, stropped those droplets out, there's nothing to be affected by gravity anymore. So it's just as effective this way or this way. So you don't have to go out and be like all the new guys and think they have to buy a brush stand. It's optional for sure. Well, that's an enjoyable scent. Man, if you like oranges, that is a on the money scent. Kind of a mandarin and pineapple tweak to it. So, well, I will put the Aristocrat down as not really being a good fit for the Nacet at this age. It's not that it's too mild. Don't know why exactly. Don't have to know why, I guess. I do like to dry off my razors after the shave. Get a little corner of the towel for the TTOs and get in there. Get rid of kind of the standing water. Just what I do. Doesn't take much, and that's another benefit of nice wet lathers. You don't get the soap buildup. All right, well that's 252 in the books, and I hooked out a bunch of lather to show you, and I've still got more lather in the bowl. So 20 seconds is definitely what I should load next time, and I just wasn't sure because even though it's a bigger knot than the bore, I guess that's why it kind of made it grab a whole bunch of soap, because it's bigger than the bore. It's not as stiff as the bore, but it's just bigger. So it's got more hairs to work on the soap and pick up the soap. 20 seconds next time, huh? 9 teaspoons of water. I may have had 10 passes of the lather there. I don't know, not 8 or 10. All right, now, last time I used sandalwood, it worked really well with the orange scent. Let's see what we have today. You know what I think might work well with orange is Seville from Barrister and Mann. It's got some skin goodies in it, so I'm going to shake it up first. This may even have a touch of some kind of orange derivative in it. So I think it should work well. Seville is such a great scent. The soap as well, of course. Big fan. Yeah, definitely works with the orange. Very cooperative, complementary with the orange. Nice. Wow, as I've been cleaning up, the Seville was a great choice with this Mandarin type scent. Holy cow, just nice. Works really, really well together. All right. Well, happy with the soap. Not quite as good as, a tallow or maybe Saponificio Veracino, perhaps. But still very enjoyable. Probably better than PDP, Prix de Provence, in terms of performance. And enjoyed the brush. The razor, that's kind of what he does, though. A little scrapey. But I use him every now and then. Who knows? Someday I may get tired of him and pass him on to somebody else. But he's a piece of history. So, all right. Well, there we go. The real happy surprise today is how well the Seville matched well with this Mandarin orange scent for the soap. Just really nice. And just continuing to kind of evaluate, I wanted to use the TFS soap with a badger because I'd been using them with boars lately. So we got that done. It did great. I didn't expect it to be any different, but I just wanted to kind of put that out there since we do have not all that many English-speaking TFS videos out there. It's an Italian soap, and probably some Italian reviewers out there, but I wanted to add some American ones, and so I did a boar and now a badger for those. And so, man, I really kind of enjoy the scent on this, the Tachibana, the Mandarino Tachibana scent from TFS. All right, well, there we go. I hope there was something in here good for you. Thanks, Gabe, for this soap, for being able to use it for a little bit before I send it back to you. All you guys, you take care with COVID. If your country is kind of starting to relax some of its guidelines, that's awesome. Let's celebrate that. Let's continue to be careful, though, right? For those other countries that are kind of still in the thick of it, just stand strong, stay with each other, and stay inside, right? Just kind of keep out of the mess. All right, this is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You take care. Have a good night.